And welcome back, fellow gamers of the world. Today we're going to be showcasing an absolute insane, broken build that you can use on the Druid. So let's get into it.
We go Blood Bishop. Let's see how this goes.
Bro, that was a boss? So the way this build works, it works with Hurricane, Ravens, Wolves, Earthen Bulwark, and Storm Strike, and it's just absolutely insane as you go through here. So as you can see, what we want to do is you can make everything vulnerable. So this is just with the Storm Strike, and it makes you take reduced damage when you use it. So that's just with that. We have our Wolves summoned here, so once we get some more enemies out, for example, we're going to use Hurricane, we're going to summon our Ravens, we're going to do this, and we get Earthen Bulwark, and we take 0 damage, and we can just summon our Tornadoes to kill everything for us. As you can see, it's absolutely broken. You gain so much barrier and life. It's just insane. And let's get into the legendaries that we're using for this build. We have this helmet that damages an elite enemy, grants you a barrier absorbing up to 414 damage for 10 seconds. This effect can only happen once every 30 seconds. But in conjunction with Earthen Bulwark, you can literally have a barrier up non-stop. And you can have, this is insane, you can have basically 3 life bars. A barrier, life basically absorb, and your normal life. It's absolutely insane. And then you deal 20% increased damage while you have an active barrier with this. Then with this, the duration of Earthen Bulwark is increased by 6 seconds. In addition, kill enemy with Earth skills replenishes 31 of your active Earthen. What matters most here is that now this is 9 seconds and the cooldown is 16 seconds, and it reduces, basically granting a barrier that absorbs 50% of your base life in damage. And then you gain Fortify. So it's absolutely insane. So basically, like I said, you're having 3 life pools in one, so you can stand and just do massive damage without getting out of any mechanics. Then you gain 0.2% to 0.25% increased armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage, stacking to 25%, so you're even more tanky. Then when you have Fortify, your Earth skills grant +2 ranks, which makes this even more tanky and stronger, so it's a rank 4. And then, critical strikes with storm skills charge the air around you for 1.1 seconds, causing a lightning strike to periodically hit an enemy in the area for 360 lightning damage. This duration can be extended by additional critical strikes, which with Hurricane, this making things vulnerable, and your Wolves, and the Tornado here making things vulnerable, you're going to always be having critical strikes, which then always making things vulnerable, which means you're going to have lightning coming from the sky, killing everything even off screen. So it's just absolutely an ad clear and boss killer. Then we have attack aims with the base skill, increase the damage your next core skills cast up by 9% up to 50%. So what we're going to be doing is using your ability here, getting this maximum to 50%, then firing your Tornado out, because with the next ability here, skills deals up to 30% increased damage based on your available primary resource. When you cast, you see the maximum benefit when you have full primary resource. You're going to do massive amounts of damage by 100% more damage basically with one Tornado, and you can constantly keep generating your spirit and throwing out your Tornadoes. On top of that, your Tornadoes will seek up to 4 targets, and your Wolf Companions are now Werewolf Companions. Werewolf Companions deal 95% increased damage, which they're also like blocking things from hitting you too, so it makes you more tanky, and they spread rabies. This is an absolutely insane legendary kit right here, which I highly recommend for those that want to do the build. And we're back with the build creation here for the abilities. So let's get on to the abilities here. I took off all the gear and everything like that, so you guys don't have to worry about what you don't know and stuff for the skills based on gear. So if you see here, we have Storm Strike, which generates 15 spirit. Actually, your guns around the weapon, dealing 96 damage to your target and chaining up to 3 surrounding enemies, dealing 20% less damage each time it chains. But you also gain 25% damage reduction for 3 seconds after dealing damage with it. So you're taking 20% less damage in conjunction with the fact that we're constantly generating barriers, which is keeping your barriers up to do more damage, which is absolutely insane. Then if you go down here, we spec into the Tornado ×2. So we spec ×2 in Storm Strike. So Enhanced Tornado. So basically, Tornado that deals 147 damage. Each time you cast Tornado, you have a 20% chance to spawn additional Tornadoes, so you can basically spawn even more Tornadoes. And any assailant Tornado have a 10% chance to become more vulnerable, which means we can do more damage to them, which is absolutely insane. On top of the fact that we have that one legendary that I showed you earlier, that can make the tornado go after 4 targets versus just 1. So then we also spec'd in Heart of the Wild, so our spirit is higher because I wanted this. Basic skills generate 20% more spirit. So this ability here generates 20% more spirit, so we can pump out more tornadoes to spam it. And then on top of that, your core skills cost 5% more spirit, but deal 10% increased damage. So this deals 10% increased more damage, but costs more. That's why we wanted this, so we can generate more for the Storm Strike. Then we have Earth and Bulwark, which on top of our barrier. So basically, with our one legendary, we have it causes a barrier when you attack an elite. Once that barrier goes away, you can summon Earth and Bulwark, or you can constantly keep clicking Earth and Bulwark whenever you want, because it's just going to keep generating your barrier, which makes you do more damage. Rocks around you for 3 seconds, granting a barrier that absorbs 45% of your base life, 189 in damage. So this is wrong because I don't have my gear on at the moment to make it naked, but I wanted to show you with the base on. So barrier amount is 50%, so Earth and Bulwark makes you unstoppable while active, which means you're unstoppable, which is insanely good. And casting Ultimate Bulwark grants 80% base life as Fortify. So basically you're going to be having 3 shields here. You're going to have the barrier shield, the Fortify shield, the next barrier shield, and your actually additional life. So it's absolutely insane for that. Then we have the Wolves, so you can summon 2 Wolf Commanders that bite enemies for 29 damage. Direct your Wolves focus enemies. Basically, you can have them leap on a boss to do some more damage. Then Wolves deal 20% increased damage to immobilize, stunned, slowed, or poisoned enemies, which, with the ring that we have on, which makes them werewolves, with the rabies makes them poison, which they do more damage to things they bite, and they do 100% more damage with that. And the Wolves deal, yeah, so this is absolutely insane. And then your Wolves attacks have up to a 10% chance to fortify you for 5% base life. So this is what I'm saying. You're constantly getting fortified, constantly gaining barriers, and constantly healing yourself. Now, if you don't want the Wolves, you can choose to go Blood Howl, so you can have a passive heal, so you can constantly keep healing yourself and increase your attack speed. But I prefer the Werewolves. Now, the Ravens. We have cooldown 50 seconds, passive 1 Raven flies above you, and periodically attacks your enemies for 49 damage every 5 seconds. The target area is swarmed with Ravens, dealing 359 damage over 6 seconds. And basically, enemies inside the Ravens is when activated becomes vulnerable for 3 seconds, which means you can do more damage. You also have 5% increased critical strike chance for 6 seconds against enemies hit by Ravens, so you can even do more critical strike damage. Now here we have Elemental Exposure. Lucky hit. Your Storm Skills have up to a 20% chance to make enemies vulnerable for 1 second. So this makes enemies vulnerable more often with your Tornadoes, with your Storm Strikes, so you're doing so much more. On top of your Hurricane here, so you form a hurricane around you that deals 374 damage to surround enemies over 8 seconds. So with this, enemies who are damaged by hurricane are slowed by 25 seconds, so you can kind of build yourself up so you can do more damage. So if you're bursting in a boss, you can push everything else away to kill it. And enemies affected by hurricane deal 20% less damage, which makes you even more tanky. As you can see, this is just absolutely insane. You just wreck everything in sight. It's just insane. And your Wolves provide you a little bit of buffer, so you're even more tanky. As you can see, you're just making everything vulnerable and immobilizing them. So there should be a boss here. Yep, so there's the boss right here. We're going to make ourselves invulnerable. We're going to summon a bunch of tornadoes. Look at that boss health just go down. It's absolutely broken. It's just broken. You can literally kill anything in seconds while surviving and standing in everything. I basically wanted to recreate an enhanced shaman from World of Warcraft. That was my whole goal. And this build just wrecks everything. Like I said, though, you don't need to use the werewolves. You can definitely use the howl instead, which will give you more survivability. But the thing is you don't really need survivability with this much barriers. So it's really up to you, though, on how you want to play. And then look at this. This is a 3-star boss right here. It has Hellhound, Cold Enhanced, Chilling. And it just went down like it was nothing. Actually, we were fighting 2 bosses at once. This is absolutely and completely insane. Thank you for watching this build video, and I hope this build helps you in your Diablo 4 open beta endeavors. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe if you do like the video, and I'll see you guys next time.